Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to create a 3-stone set ring using an emerald cut gem. If you have watched all my tutorials through this video, congratulations, learning something new is definitely not an easy task. And if you find this video helpful and somehow you are looking for a VPN, please use NordVPN. And also I have an affiliate link. I mean, if somehow you need a VPN, and this will help my channel. So NordVPN needs no introduction, and there is like millions of users out there, including myself. I use it for ChatGPT and OpenAI, you know, some projects on OpenAI, because these applications are not available in my country, and that is so stupid. But anyway, without further ado, let's jump right into our session. Alright everyone, let's get started by making a circle, and in our front viewport, let's place our center point on the center of the grid. And for the size of our finger rail, let's make a ring of the size of 15.4 millimeter. I'm going to select our finger rail and change it to another layer, so later I can differentiate between other curves later. Now I'm going to select our rail once again and simply offset it to a distance of 1.95 millimeter. And let's not forget it to offset it on the outside of our finger rail. Now let's import a gem, and for this tutorial let's import an emerald cut gem. I'm quickly going to resize the size of our gem by pressing Shift and click on the little handle. For the size of our gemstones, I'm going to make a 5 millimeter emerald gems. For the size of your gems, you don't have to follow my instruction, and you can also use the box edit tab and change the value according to your preference. For example, let's change those value, input 5 and 7 on the y-axis with an appropriate depth of 3.178, for example. Press enter. Now we can move this up into position. The next step, we are going to create a gallery so our gemstones can sit on it. So to do that, I'm going to simply draw a line that will follow the edge of our gemstones. So I'm going to use the line command and select both sides and snap it on the center edge of our gemstone, and simply draw a straight line like so by holding Shift to constrain it horizontally. Let's draw another line on this side and make sure you select both sides like that. Hold Shift and click on your grid. Same thing on this edge, snap it on the middle and simply hold Shift and click on your grid, just like that. Now we can select these two curves by holding Shift, and we are going to rotate it. Select the copy option, press enter. For the center of rotation, type 0 and simply make a copy. Then press right click on your canvas. Then for this line right here, I can simply mirror it on each side, just like that. Now we can select all of these curves and let's isolate it. And now we can simply trim off the extra lines that we don't need. Once we've done that, we can join them together. Now let's show everything back. Jump into our front view and simply select the curves that we made and move it into position. Let's place it somewhere around here. It is fine. Now we can draw the shape of our gallery using our polyline. Snap it at the edge of our curve. And for the distance of our gallery, let's make it at 1.1, for example. Let's place it slightly at an angle, just like that. Hold Shift for the next point and simply draw out the shape of your preference. Now we can run a sweep 1 function. Select the rail, which is our main curve, and select the shape to sweep, which is our profile. Press enter and enter once again. I'm going to select gallery we made and change it to another layer. Right now, let's design our claw for our gemstones by simply using our point curve, just like that, and quickly make a 4 control point curve, just like so. Then I'm going to select the curve that we made and do a rotating command with copy option selected. Center of rotation will be 0. First reference point will be this axis right here, and then I'm going to simply snap it on the mid section of this edge. Press enter once it is done. So as you guys can see, my curve on my future claw is a little bit short. I can use my first curve to adjust it because our record history is on. Now I'm simply going to refine it by moving those control points. Now I can run a pipe command by selecting our copy curve, type pipe. I'm going to select the diameter option, and for the size of it, let's make it at 1.1 millimeter and press enter twice, just like that. Now we can see a preview of our claw and simply adjust it using our first curve. So let's not forget that we can also adjust our gallery using our first curve. So once you have something similar like that and you like it, we can simply mirror them into the missing side of our object, just like that. Select them and change to another layer. So if you need to refine it, again simply use the first curve that you made, just like that. So now we have made our main stone. Now we need to make our side stones. So to make things a little bit faster, I'm going to use the stones that we made on our previous video. I'm going to select the previous project and import it into our software. Now as you can see, like we have made previously our side stones. Then I'm going to deselect this gem along with the gallery that comes with it and simply press delete to delete other object that we don't need. Right now I'm going to select both object and rotate it. Center of the rotation, type 0 on your keyboard. Press angle, which will be somewhere around the center of our gems, and simply move it into position like so. It actually created a copy, so I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to reposition this gem just like that and place it somewhere around here. So once we are happy with that, let's make some claw for our gemstones by simply using the control point curve, and this time let's start it from the middle right there and simply draw a curve to something like that. And then now we can use our pipe command. Once again, for the diameter of it, let's make it at 1 millimeter. Press enter and enter once again. Now we can move our claw into position by simply using our control point like that, and simply like place it at a 45-degree angle. So of course guys, you can finesse this a little bit and simply use your curve to adjust it to your preferred position. Once you are happy with that, simply mirror it across the x-axis, just like that. Once we are happy with that, we can design some inner claws. So to do that, I'm going to simply use a cylinder, type cylinder on your command, base of the cylinder type 0. For the diameter, let's make it at 1 millimeter. Change the direction. For the height of your cylinder, let's make it something like that. Now we can simply move it into position, just like that, using our perspective view, like this, and also rotating around, like that. Adjust the angle, like so. Once you are happy with that, let's go back to our front view, and we can simply use a polyline, snap it using our gallery as a reference, and make a straight line like that. Now we can use either our split command or the wirecut command. I'm going to use the split command, select the object to split, which is this one, press enter, select the cutting object, which is the curve that we made, press enter once again, then delete the extra materials that we don't need. And now we can simply cap by typing cap on your command, press enter, and this will close like the open surface of our claw. Then we can simply mirror this across the x-axis. So now we can simply select all of the object that we made. I'm going to change to another layer first. And simply mirror this across the y-axis, just like that. And then now we can simply reinforce the connection between our side stones gallery and our main stone gallery, just like before, using our polyline and simply using our gallery as a guideline, and draw simply a geometry that simply follows the edge of our gallery, just like that. Now select all of the curves that we just made, join them together, and extrude this curve. Just like so. Change it to another layer, like that, and mirror it across the y-axis. Alright, now let's create a shank for our gemstones. I'm going to switch to my front viewport, and now I'm going to use a line to create a guideline just like before, and then I'm going to select the guideline that we made and simply move it a little bit on the outside, just like so. So now I'm going to use my blend curve command once again, and I'm going to select my guidelines along with my outside rails. So as you can see, the first point should be like pointed and place it down below, like so. And also I'm going to flip it on the inside, and I'm going to do the same thing with my second point and simply flip it on the other side, just like so, and then press OK. Now let me delete my guideline like so, and then I'm going to select a new curve that we made and simply mirror it across the y-axis, just like so. Now I'm going to select this curve along with the other curve and simply trim off the excess curves that we don't need. Now I'm going to join them once again. Now we can simply offset this curve to a distance of 1.95 millimeter, which is the thickness of our shank. I'm going to also do the same thing with my finger rail and simply offset it to a distance of let's say 1.5 or even less, like 1.3, and hit enter and left click on your canvas, just like so. Just like before, I'm going to rebuild this inside curve along with my outside shank, because as you can see, like there is just too much control points, and I'm going to do a rebuild command. For the point count, I'm just going to leave it at 31 and the degree 3 degree. Simply press OK. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this point and the opposite point, simply delete it like so, and then I'm simply going to modify my shank and make it thinner by simply adjusting my control points, just like so. So I'm going to snap this point to be aligned with my gallery by using the move command, and by selecting the point, the top control point, and simply snap it on our top edge of our gallery, just like so. Same thing with these 2 points, and simply readjust it, something like that. and we can also like adjust this point and just like see how it looks right now. And for now I like what I see, and I'm going to leave it like that. However, there is a problem. As we can see, there is like small defects in this part right here, not on this side but on the other side. As we can see, it doesn't match with the other side, so I'm going to split in two, simply typing split and use the point command and then split on the mid right here. Press enter. Now I can simply delete this side and mirror this one across the y-axis. And now I'm going to select both and join them together, just like so. Right now I'm going to select all of this curve that we made, and I'm going to temporarily isolate it like so. I'm going to close the gap on the top part like so, and simply mirror this across the y-axis, just like so. And I'm going to join it together, select all of them, and I'm simply going to trim the curves that we don't need, which is going to be this one and this one. Press enter and join them together, just like so. Now let's show everything back like so. I'm going to select my finger rail along with the outside shank rail and simply extrude it. Switch back to my perspective view. Don't forget to extrude from the middle by simply enable both sides. And for the thickness of it, I'm going to make a shank of the thickness of 2.2 millimeter, and I'm going to divide it by 2 because we are starting from the middle, and press enter. So this is how our ring actually look for now. Now we can refine our ring by running a fillet edge command, and I'm going to select this edge along with the other edge and make a fillet of the radius of 0.6 millimeter and double press enter, just like so. Going to make another fillet edge command and simply input 0.2 and select this edge, and the mirror side. Press enter, enter once again. Right now I want to place some stones on the sides of our band, and again I'm going to import my round stone. Press on import, click OK. For the size of our stone, I know that my band is 2.2 millimeter wide, so I will make the size of my gemstones to a size of 2 millimeter, which is a standard size in jewelry manufacturing. So right now what we want to do is of course to place these stones on the side of our band ring. However, before going forward, I'm going to create a cutter to place my stones on the side of our ring. Alright, I'm going to simply draw a cutter by using our polyline, and for the distance I'm going to make it at 0.35 or even more, like 0.4. just like that. I'm going to come down straight like that and place my second point just near our gemstones like this, and then I'm going to simply make a contour around my gemstones to create a cutter. Again, I'm using the smart track to place my points. Like that. And then I'm going to simply make a straight line over here that will snap on the middle, just like so. Now I'm going to use a revolve command. Start of the axis, press 0 and then snap it straight, and for the angle make 360 degrees, just like so. Now I'm going to fillet edge like this part right here, the bottom of our cutter, by running a fillet edge command, and I'm going to make a radius of 0.1. Select this edge and press enter, just like so. Now I'm going to make another cylinder which will be placed on the middle of our gemstones, and I'm going to type cylinder on my command line. Base of the cylinder type 0, and then make a simply like a cylinder of this size. Then I'm going to switch to my right viewport. For the length of our cylinder, simply make something of this length. Now I'm going to select my cylinder and then change the shape, make it oval like that, and move it up like so. Then I'm going to make another object, which is a V cutter. Simply select a polyline right here and make a V just by drawing a line like so at an angle. Mirror it, start off the mirror plane, snap it at the bottom, simply hold shift to constrain it and make a mirror like that. I'm going to refine the shape of my V, make it a little bit thinner like that. Now I will close it, join these three curves together like so, and now I'm going to extrude it like that. Switch back to my right view and simply make the V cutter of this length. I'm going to move my V cutter on the inside a little bit, somewhere around here. It is fine. And now we can go ahead and place our object on the side of our shank. However, we have a problem on our cutter right here. I probably made a mistake because it is an open surface. So I'm simply going to close the open hole like so by mirroring and joining them together, just like that. Alright, so now to position those objects on my shank, first of all I'm going to rotate it by going on top view, isolate this thing first, and then run a rotate command, copy no, center of rotation 0, and simply rotate it to be facing this position. Now let's show back everything, and now I can run a command called the orient on surface, just like so. Base point type 0. For the reference point, simply place it anywhere, doesn't matter, and select the surface. Now I'm going to reset this option and press OK, and now you can see that we can definitely position our object on the edge of our shank. I'm going to place somewhere around here. It is fine. Simply press enter when it is done. Of course guys, we can readjust the position by simply using the curves that we made earlier. And actually, before moving forward, I'm going to select those objects and put them on another layer so we can see clearly like that. And now what we can do is to make an array along the curves by simply using this curve. However, I'm going to split this curve so we don't have to array along all around this curve. So I'm going to make a copy by typing Ctrl C, then Ctrl V. Select the copy and switch to another layer. And I'm going to select the blue layer, just like so. Now I'm going to select this curve and simply split it, like so. Switch to my front view or my perspective view, like that. I'm going to select the point option and simply snap it on the middle of our gems, right here. And then I'm going to make another point by going on my front view and simply snap it somewhere around here and press enter once it is done. I'm going to delete the curve that we don't need, so we are left with this curve. Alright, once it is done, we can go ahead and make some copy of those objects and place it along the blue curves that we made. I'm going to select all of these objects along with my diamond and then run an array along curve command. Select the path, which is our blue curve. We can select distance or items, how many gemstones that you want. And for the distance, this is what I'm going to select, and you can play around a little bit. For example, I've tried earlier 1.9, and as you can see, the object is just collapsing together. So simply go ahead and adjust it And for me, I found that 2.2 or even 2.25 will be a great distance. Once you agree with how it looks, simply press enter once again. And now this is what it has created. However, I think I don't need like these parts right here, so I'm going to delete it and simply left with these. Alright, before moving forward, going to make a copy of this, simply pressing Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and then I'm going to move this one, place it on the top right here, just like so. Then I'm going to select all of this object along with all of these gemstones, deselect those, and I'm going to also deselect those, and now I can run a mirror like so. Simply mirror it on the y-axis, just like that, guys. Beautiful. Now we can run a Boolean. I'm going to select my shank, run a Boolean difference, and simply select my cutter like that. Deselect the middle one, then press enter once again. Now that is how our ring actually look like. I can of course like adjust the depth of our stone and simply like put it a little bit down like so. And what is missing right now is a hole on the middle part right here to create a channel. But before going forward, I'm going to delete this stone. And to make a channel, first of all, I'm going to select this one and I'm going to hide it for the moment. And same thing again, I'm going to select this curve, make a copy, place on another layer like that, and then hit a split command, select point, and I'm going to probably start right here, I mean split right there, and then split right here. Press enter. Now I can delete this curve because it's trash. Select this pipe, select this curve, and run a pipe command. The diameter of 0.4, let's try. Same thing, just like so. And then I can select this object, simply like adjust it. It looks okay. Simply mirror it across the y-axis. So now you have two pipe, and what we can do, guys, again, we can do a Boolean difference. Select our surface, press enter, select our cutter, which is our two pipe, hit enter once it is done. I'm going to select those pipe and hide it for the moment, like that. Hide it. And this is how you create a nice channel for your gemstone. And guys, of course, you can refine your shank, especially the outside of your shank, by running a fillet edge command. And for the radius of it, simply make it at 0.3, select both sides and run your fillet edge, and ta-da! Rounding off those corners is important, not for production but for rendering, which is something that I will cover in a future video. But anyway, guys, I hope you liked this tutorial. This is all I can offer on this video, and if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys for watching.